Hello, I'm Trooper Johnny Hernandez with the Texas Department of Public Safety. With the school year closely approaching, I wanted to remind you of the state law, which requires for you to stop when you see red alternating flashing lights on a school bus. Loading and unloading are the most dangerous times for students that ride this bus. So again, I remind you, please stop when you see red alternating flashing lights on a school bus. If not, you will be stopping for these lights, and the consequences could be a $1,000 fine. Thank you, and have a great school year.
I'm Irma Garza. Thanks for joining us. Trooper Johnny Hernandez, great advice. This has been a law for many years now, but obviously continues to be a problem.
And that's correct, Irma. We do a lot of bus driver training, and that's one of the complaints that they complain about, especially because people are not obeying this law. When they see the red alternating flashing lights, they need to stop and let you know that here in Hidalgo County, it is a $600 fine for that.
Wow. And is it because they don't know, or is it because they don't care?
It could be either one. They don't know or they don't care. I still get questions of when should I stop with the school bus. I will remind you of this, especially if you're traveling behind the school bus, no matter how many lanes there is, if he activated his lights, you need to stop. If you're approaching the school bus and you have a median or you have a barrier of some kind, the other traffic does not have to stop. But if you don't have a barrier and it's open lanes, you need to stop either way, either direction.
Okay, and this is state law.
This is state law, and we will file on you for this violation.
Okay, now let's go into the law again specifically. What does it say? As you mentioned, some confusion. I know years ago it used to be, it was only if you were traveling behind it. That's not the case anymore. That's
not the case. Like I said, if there's barriers in between, when you're coming from the opposite direction.
Like 107, for instance.
Like 107. Okay, 107, you don't have to stop because you have what?
Well, let's say you were traveling west on 107 and you're behind a bus, you have to stop. But if you're coming east on 107 into town, you don't have to stop.
That's correct. You don't have to stop because there's a median and there's a barrier in between that you don't have to stop for the other traffic. Now, mind you, if it's a turning lane and it's all lanes, both sides have to stop.
Okay.
That's state law.
Okay. What about, for instance, if there's more than one lane and you're behind the bus? Can you go around the furthest lane?
No, you still got to stop. When those lights are activated, you have to stop if you're behind the school bus. You have to stop. That's state law.
Okay. The fines have increased. It used to be, I believe it was like $200, and they're escalating. They've been escalating. Is that because it continues to be such a problem?
And you can see that the judges have implemented this fine, to advise people that this will not be tolerated. And right now, like I said, it's a $600 fine. And the way the economy is right now, we can't afford $600. We got to save and respect the state laws so we don't get fined for this.
Exactly. And let's talk about what's really at stake here. It's more than just passing up a vehicle. I mean, we're all drivers. A lot of times we're in a hurry and you want to pass somebody who's driving slower than you. But the fact of the matter is that these kids in these school buses are really less protected than the rest of us on the roadway. Right. They don't have seat belts that they can rely on in case of an emergency.
And that's correct. They don't have safety belts at all. They rely on this bus where it requires for the students to be seated down at all times in order to be effective so they don't get injured. Irma, we're even having complaints where the lights are activated, they're unloading children, and we got cars traveling on the shoulder trying to pass. The students are right here. We need to comply with this law because the children are our future.
Exactly. And you know, unfortunately, it has happened where, you know, you're loading, unloading, and you have an accident, and kids have been killed right here in the Rio Grande Valley because somebody was in a hurry and refused to wait until the red lights turned off, indicating, okay, the kids are out of the way, it's now safe to continue on.
Right. You know, you want to be a defensive driver? Then here's where you start. That's where you start visualizing, okay, is it safe to continue, or do I hold back? Be a defensive driver, be a responsible driver, and you don't have to worry about fines, you don't have to worry about somebody being killed, and you can continue with a normal life.
Yeah. Now, Johnny, when these lights come on, it indicates I'm either getting ready to pick them up or drop them off. It involves kids. It doesn't mean I'm checking things out, you know, I'm getting ready to cross a railroad track. It means kids either getting on the bus or getting off the bus.
And that's correct. Unloading and loading are the most dangerous time for students. This is where we have the fatalities, when they're unloading and loading.
Is this, and you know, I took driver's ed a long time ago, but is this part of driver's ed now, and you know, getting a driver's license and stuff?
Well, this is part of your exam, yes.
Okay, good.
And it's part of you knowing the laws.
Right.
It's your responsibility to know the laws. That's why you go into our website and click under new laws, and it'll tell you all the new laws that are coming out. September 1st, we got new laws coming out. So what does that mean? Start researching what are the new laws.
Very good. And we'll do a show with you on those, Johnny, you know, so you can come and let people know what those laws are. But a very good idea, you know, especially if you've got teenagers, you know,
That's
who are
correct.
starting to drive. They should have learned it in driver's ed, as you know, Trooper Hernandez is mentioning. But, you know, remind them and remind them. We were all kids, you know, and our parents used to tell us, you know, over and over. But you know what?
Yes.
It's stuck because, you know, now we think about it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing we got to do with our kids.
That's
you know, they
correct.
love to be on the internet. Let them go on and check out the new laws, you know, so
That's
they
correct.
can remind us.
That's absolutely correct, Irma. And I couldn't give a better advice than that. You know, students love the internet. Research laws.
Yeah. Internet, it's www.
It's txdps.state.tx.us.
Very good. For more information, your office is in McAllen, and the number to get in touch with you all at your office is?
984-5600.
Very good. All right, again, flashing red lights. You see I'm on a yellow school bus, you need to stop, because as Trooper Hernandez said, if you don't stop for these flashing red lights, you are going to stop for his.
That's correct.
Trooper Hernandez, thank you so much for being with us and sharing this very important information.
Thank you, Irma, for inviting, and I want to wish everybody just to have a great school year.
Very good. Thank you so much.